What's good about this machine?
Right here in front of me is the Asus Zenbook Duo and Zenbook Pro Duo. And I think these might make me eat my words, because this appears to be far more than just another stupid gimmick.
All right, so this is exciting. I saw this thing featured, I guess it was at Computex recently, and amazingly, it's on the desk already. Like this, of course, the Asus Zenbook Pro Duo. It's a dual screen laptop.
What's up? My name is Sara Rhymes with Peachy. Today we're talking about another epic laptop. It's the Asus Zenbook Pro Duo with 2 screens. Like exactly being able to switch between the grid, the loop feature here on that second screen, and Lightroom is just great. It was such a fun experience.
It's got an IR Windows Hello camera so that it works in the dark. It includes a stylus for the bottom screen. The speakers are great with surprising...
This machine has a Harman Kardon speakers, pretty decent quality, however it's not loud enough. It doesn't get loud enough to the point that my Lenovo can actually be louder.
With surprisingly good stereo imaging, and the overall fit and finish is a level of premium that I would...
Everyone's saying that this laptop is awesome. Let's see how it's awesome in reality. Look at all these positive reviews.
Already having these 2 displays has been amazing for multitasking. I've been doing a lot of creative work on it. However, if you just want to take it to that next level, my LG
so all you're saying is to get a new monitor.
Has been a really great display.
But I didn't find the ScreenPad software useful, and sometimes its menu button would get in the way. It's hard to put a number on the productivity improvement, but I think the most useful thing you can do for productivity is to add an extra screen. And while
he
1.5
said it's useless,
screens
but he got paid for it.
Obviously not as good
So
as
he better
2
be nice.
screens, it is better
If
than
that makes
half
sense.
as good as a full extra screen, if that makes sense. The more panels and menus and crap that I can get out of the way, the more room I have to work. And if we got new editing laptop
all day, and when it's working, the Zenbook Pro Duo does get pretty toasty. But there is absolutely nothing else like this on the market right now, and it does do so many things right.
Look at what Lightroom looks like. So this is editing Hasselblad pictures. These are 100 megabyte raw files, and so it's just gliding through the edit, handling it like...
Right in the middle of editing, this thing freezes and crashes. That's it. So much about that power she's talking about. And she literally just said like how powerful and great it is. Oh my god. Just look at this, guys. It's dead. And the power button doesn't work. It's fully charged. Like, what the hell?
After an initial spike to 3.6 gigahertz, my Blender Classroom render saw all core clock speeds of 3.1 to 3.2 gigahertz throughout the entire rest of the test, with CPU temps in the 90-degree range and system fans that I would describe as clearly audible, but not super annoying. And that's even though they were configured in turbo mode. To put that in perspective, guys, the advertised all-core base clock of this CPU is a mere 2.4 gigahertz.
And that's how the charger compares to Lenovo 65 watt versus credit card size, and then 90 watt Lenovo, and obviously Asus.
One arrangement along the bottom was pretty small for a lot of things. The fact that it is just a normal secondary display with support for Windows' own snapping features means that it is super quick to do a 2x1 as well. This other feature means you probably won't end up fussing around with it much though. You can create a handful of common loadouts. So for me, the ones that made the most sense were my dense and focused one, designed for easily going back.
Short day of use. See that? It was just on the table, plugged in. nothing was done to it. Just turned off by itself. It still shows the charge light, even though charger has been disconnected. Up. See that? And the main screen is off as well. So weird.
A few minutes later.
I did a hard restart. The main screen is on now. But this thing here at the bottom is still showing the white lines, even though the touchscreen is working. This is third day of using it. By the way, the camera is scanning my face. I would rather have a fingerprint. I logged in into the computer now, and the lines are still there. And the screen is kind of shaking, the backlight is shaking. Not sure if it's visible on the video here.
20 minutes later.
And this is the sound it makes now. Right in the middle of the movie, it just stopped. Wow. 2 days. It lasted 2 days. Didn't even copy and paste the files on it. Just empty laptop. It's been 2 days now since that glitch with the bottom screen on this laptop. Again, this is Asus Zenbook Pro Duo. And I think I will be returning it. But however, check this out, I didn't open it yet. So it's been charged, but I didn't power it up. And all those lines are gone. So I assume those lines appeared as a result of poor ventilation inside of the machine, even though I had it standing on the desk and there's plenty of space underneath. It's still glitched, and that's one of the reasons why I will be returning it.
Having the second display actually angled a little bit towards you is the ideal situation. So I have a laptop stand, it's really nice, it's aluminum, $40 purchase on Amazon. However, you don't want to be like carrying that around. It's actually pretty massive, so Fully actually has a really good accessory that breaks down. You'll be able to have that better angle on the go.
And this is exactly what I mean when I say that this laptop is not ergonomically designed, because you have to have your wrist resting on your desk, right? Or at least on your laptop part, but because it doesn't have this square piece like all the other laptops, so it's resting on the table now. And then you have this add-on that's not that great in any case. This is, by the way, the charge light that's being transmitted from here. So now, because you're trying to edit something on your laptop, right, so you can barely see the screen. It doesn't have enough angle lift to actually be visible, so you have to be like hovering above it to really have a use of it. I noticed that on the gaming version of this laptop, they created the features where you can actually lift it. So it would be great to have.
And because you're going to be looking down on the second display a lot, I look forward to maybe future models that are similar to the Intel prototype we saw at Computex, where there's a hinge and you have a better angle. Or maybe in future iterations, they'll just have more of an angle built in. Because see, if you notice that, it kind of does lift up, give you a little bit of an angle. So
But on this model, it doesn't exist. So now if I open a editor, right? So, and if I try to, let's say, put it down here, see, you can barely see it. So you really have to go over it and look at details here. But then again, you are kind of too close to it and it's not a natural position for your back. So if you spend a lot of time editing, then you're gonna screw up your back. Well, that's another downside of this design, even though it's, as we all noticed, it's an awesome feature.
With their gaming lineup, that moving the keyboard down does tend to have a bit of a detrimental impact on ergonomics. Now, what they also learned from their Zephyrus lineup of gaming laptops is that a surefire way to pack more performance into a notebook is to lift it up off the table a little bit. So that gives us a slight angle here in terms of our ergonomics and also more room for the laptop to breathe. So they're calling this their Ergo Lift Hinge or something like that. And essentially what it does is it allows them to pack an 8-core HK series processor and an RTX 2060 into a shockingly compact little device here. In terms of I/O, we've got Thunderbolt 3 microphone headphone, full-sized USB-A, then we've got HDMI, another USB-A, and more ventilation, as well as a power in over here. That is a freaking lot of performance, and they say that unlike the original Zenbook Pro, they are not going to be experiencing any thermal slowdown, so I'm going to hold them to that.
Another reason why we'll be returning this machine is not only the screen, but also the overall functionality of the keyboard. So one of the main problems and challenges with the keyboard is not even in the trackpad being here on the side and being useless. I use mouse most of the time.
I would say the only thing I think people might be critical of or not like is the trackpad being on the right.
Right.
Since this is, in my opinion, it's in desktop replacement territory, like it's probably going to be in a single place or like 2 or 3 places.
Yeah.
The idea of a mouse here probably comes into play.
Yeah.
Regardless.
But it's the layout and how it's positioned on the machine. The touch of the keyboard is pretty decent. The problem with it is that it's shifted to the side. So even though you're facing the machine in front of yourself, like I'm in the middle here now, so I constantly find myself either shifting to the side here, so that's how I see it, and the machine stays on the right, or I tend to kind of turn my body towards it like this under the corner, which is bad for your posture. So I've been working on this machine and left it for like 10 minutes for a break, and now it's not responding. Funny thing, it's still sending the signal to my second monitor. If I disconnect HDMI, it disconnects it. So let me connect back now. There you go, the YouTube is back, but this monitor is dead and this monitor is dead either. And the mouse obviously not working, buttons don't respond, light is on, try to power it on, off, dead. Laptop.
When I think of the modern day stay-at-home creative, well, I think someone who needs power but also needs to be able to be mobile. So maybe you don't want to shell over the money for a desktop and a laptop, so you kind of need all of that in one package. So this is definitely a little thicker than we're usually used to in a normal laptop profile. However, it's still sleek, it's still kind of beautiful.
Thick enough to be considered a portable laptop. If I close my Lenovo here and place it next to it, they're almost the same size. And this is a Lenovo T480. It's as thick, and that's how it compares to it in size. So if I put it at the top, that's exactly the size difference. So this is a 14-inch, this is 15-inch. The touchpad is obviously useless here, but it does its minor job whenever you need to access something quickly and you don't have a mouse around. Another downside about this machine is the power button. You can turn off machine by accident. Oh, by the way, that's how the number pad looks like when you turn it on. So let's imagine you are working here on a side, right? And you decide to position your hand here. Because this machine doesn't have the pad at the bottom like most of the laptops do. Like for example, my Lenovo here, it has a place for your wrist. This one doesn't. It has only additional thing like this that goes at the bottom. You can put it here, and it kind of works as a wrist holder in this case.
But how does this actually affect your life, a creator's life? Accessories to really make this laptop sing in your home office, at your apartment, or again, at that lovely coffee shop. So this actually comes with a wrist rest where you can rest your wrist.
Most of the time, I don't like to use it because it just takes space. And we'll talk about it in a second. So, problem with the power button is that when you're typing, you by accident can press on it and it shuts down the entire machine. Horrible. Then another reason why I want to return the machine is a glossy screen.
Now let's go ahead and talk about the star of the show here, which is the secondary 4K, but to be clear, not Ultra HD, because it's actually 3840 by 1100 pixels secondary display. So the way that it works, unlike previous implementations where we've relied on kind of janky software, is it's just another display in Windows that's right below your main one. So if you want to move a tab in between them, all you do is grab your touchpad and boom, drag a window. It is actually that simple.
Look at this. Full of fingerprints, and I haven't really used the machine yet. See this? Because it's a touchscreen, it will be always covered. The bottom one, they didn't make it glossy. It doesn't show the fingerprints as well as the main screen does. So they should have used the same surface at the top screen. The typing, right? The arrows are ridiculous here. They are like too small. I can never hit them. They also have this tiny edge around the corner. It seemed like a cool idea, it looks nice. But again, because of that, you can never press this button. You can never press down button or even up. Like if you have big hands, it's gonna screw you up. So to help you with that, they came up with this thing. So this line here is a transition of the light at the bottom. It's a charge light. So if I put it on charge now, let me show you. So there's this light that's being reflected off the surface. It's orange when it's charging and it's green when it's charged. So if you insert this thing, kind of transfers the light here. This thing is not even magnetic. They should have done it magnetic so it clicks together, because when you work on it you find that this thing constantly moves left and right. Even though it has some padding at the bottom and it's pretty sturdy, still, like if you don't have your hands on it and you hit it slightly, it moves all the time.
The keypad and the mouse are down here below. You really want to use that wrist rest as much as possible. Once you start editing using this for 2-3 hours plus, you will start to get hand cramps from this mouse pad.
You would think they could have made this screen to be used as a touchpad, however they didn't. Here's the functions on it, and there's nothing like that. You can switch the things around, etc., but nothing really hard. Because the keyboard is being placed so close to the edge here, to work on it properly, you have to be sitting here. So it pushes you away from the screen, right? So if you're gaming, then you want to be as close to the screen as possible, because that's how you see things. And if we compare it to Lenovo here, so Lenovo is a 14-inch Lenovo. But at this distance, the screens look the same, even though this is a 15.6-inch screen versus the 14-inch. It's actually pretty slim for the size of it. This thing comes really handy if you are drawing or editing. It also comes handy in some games if you have additional screens there. I haven't used it that way, but I've seen people do that. So I think it's pretty neat. However, again, taking into account how it's all positioned, I'm pretty sure you can find the additional monitor for the price of this additional screen feature and the overall price of the machine. This machine doesn't have memory card slot. So it's designed to work with videos, right? But there is no slot anywhere. Like I've searched the entire machine, there's nothing in it. Such a bummer for such expensive machine. Again, it is almost $4,000 Canadian, but still, it's an expensive machine.
Enjoyed this. I don't want to give it back. Why do I have to give this back? Anyways, let me know if you like this video. Hit that subscribe.
There is absolutely nothing else like this on the market right now, and it does do so many things right. It
is for a lot of people. I mean, you said it yourself. Could be for gamers, could be for content creators. So yeah, check it out.
All right, let's wrap it up and send it back.
Because hello, I'm one of you guys. does this appeal to you? You know, a lot of people don't want to throw down the money for a desktop and a laptop. Could this be the desktop caliber laptop of your choice? The Asus Zenbook Pro Duo. Could this be your one and only go-to? Let me know what you think.
And as promised before, at 100 subscriber mark, we'll get a draw for Lenovo Smart Clock with Google Assistant. Awesome thing. I had a review about it. Check it out. And at mark of 200 subscribers, I'm giving away Stadia controller. This is a Wasabi version. This is just a controller, doesn't come with the account. So at 200 subscribers, this guy is flying out to one of you worldwide. Again, I made a review about this guy back in November when it just came out, during the official release by Stadia. So all you have to do to be eligible for the draw is to subscribe, like the video you're watching or any of the other videos, comment something, anything really, like if you like the video, any suggestions, etc. And if you can share, would be awesome. Otherwise, just stay tuned. As soon as we get those subscribers in place, I'll pull a draw.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay?